All right. Boom, here we go.
All right, let's go.
Episode 8. And we're going to be speaking about first-time competitors, what to expect in your first competition. And we're going to try to air out as many things as we can to prepare you guys who are thinking about competing or who are about to compete for their show.
It's going to be a good one.
We got Raven. We have Miss Natalia here. Everybody loves Natalia.
Yep, she's officially famous now. Everywhere we go, it's who's the girl with the shaved head. She is famous.
So yes. All right.
Let's get to it.
So speaking about first-time competitors, what to expect on a first competition, what would be your first piece of advice that you give an athlete?
I would say going into your first show, just be mindful that when you step on stage, you're not going to look like a pro at your very first show. It's going to take multiple competitions, multiple preps, maybe even a few years to grow that muscle. And I feel like a lot of people, they go in it and thinking they're going to look like a pro the very first time they step on that stage. And so instead of just being excited and proud of what they look like, they almost get a little disappointed and discouraged after the first one. So you have to go in there with a different mindset. Just remember, your goal isn't necessarily to look like a pro at your very first show ever. That's not what your first show is about.
Exactly. And a great caveat off of that is you'll have people who, all right, I want to compete. Mm-hmm. And then they have their favorite division or their favorite athletes. And then they're like, I want to do wellness. Mm-hmm. I want to do physique, or I want to do classic physique. I want to be a bodybuilder. Well, you have to understand that you need the proper mass and shape to fit that division. And if you don't, you can always grow into it. So like you said, it might not be your first competition to where you're going to look the part. It might take a year or two, maybe 3 years, but you will eventually build up to that point. So just understand that when you are going to compete, that the division that you are going to compete in, that your muscle mass and your shape fits that division.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
You can absolutely compete in it.
Yeah.
But it would benefit you to compete in other divisions as well and kind of see where you fit.
Yeah. I see so many of these wellness girls now out there, and I'm going to pick on wellness for a minute. Like everyone wants to do wellness, and majority of the people that do wellness will do very well in bikini. Yep. I would say 95% of them, right? People think they have legs, which majority is probably fat, let's be honest, right? Like when you get really conditioned, majority of the people think that they're wellness, and at the end of the day, they're definitely bikini, and we see it every single time. And to be honest, I mean, we coached Alice, right, for her first show. She wanted to do wellness so bad, and I'm like, all right, whatever. Like knowing damn well she should have been bikini, right? Had to let her fail, went out there, got second place, and now we went on a run right after that. And, she's a perfect example of, know what class. And I think that's the number one thing people need to figure out. The second they decide to do a show, what class to compete in. I mean, Natalia over here, we knew we were one of the big ones. We knew dang straight we weren't bikini.
But I remember I met you, and I thought I'm bikini. And Ashley thought I'm not.
Oh, yeah. Imagine now.
And she's like, let me, come see my coach. So I'm walking in, and first question, bikini or figure? And you looked at me, and you're like, you can do either or. And I'm like, figure then. and I knew I have to grow, but I was so happy that you said that I even have a chance at figure, because I thought, bikini, and I hated this. Nothing personal.
I will take a bit.
I'm not a bikini girl.
Yeah.
And then we started working together, and and I said something about bikini again, and you're like, bikini? Have you seen your quads? They're hanging.
So. That's hilarious. No, and that's exactly what I'm saying. But here's also another big thing people have to understand, right? Is if you're so passionate about a division, it doesn't matter if you don't have the muscle mass and compete in it, dude. I see a lot of physique women, right, that go out there and they don't have the muscle for physique, but they're so passionate about posing. So follow your passion, guys. That's the most important. That's number one. Because if you're not passionate about bikini, even if you have the body for it, if you're not passionate about that division, you're never going to excel in it. No. So.
Yeah, something else I would be mindful of, and it kind of revolves you actually. It's not only what are you passionate about and what do you currently look like, but it's what are you comfortable looking like in the off season? Because I just had a first time competitor application come through, and she said, I want to do figure. So I jumped on this phone call with her, and she's like, oh yeah, I want to look girly and feminine. And I was like, and you want to do figure? And she goes, well, yeah, they look nice on stage. I was like, have you seen what they look like in their off season? And I said, have you seen Natalia? And I sent her a photo, and she goes, I think I'm okay doing bikini. And I was like, like, you have to be comfortable with the off-season look. Like, you've had to put on extra weight.
What, 99% of the time?
Yeah, and I dealt with that personally after one of my first shows with Matt. I was split between bikini and wellness, and a judge said to me, are you comfortable putting on that much weight in your off season, and are you comfortable looking like that year round? So that's a huge thing to decide too when you're picking a division. Like, are you comfortable looking like this in your off season? And like, you know, some girls, you have to be more secure about your body if you're going to be, you know, almost bigger 100%. Than some men in the gym, which she is.
I mean, hey, she's bigger than me almost. You know, her quads are bigger. They are bigger than mine. Okay, guys, we took pictures. Okay, they are bigger than mine.
Yeah, my quads are coming back, so you know what I mean? Don't even worry about that.
Mine are too. I'm out of the jail.
I heard it here, guys.
Yeah, but see, I got my rebound going. Watch, my quads are going to get nasty.
We're going to pump it up. But I want to really get into this, guys, and I want to talk about how hard a prep is going to be. I think people look at these shows, man, and they don't truly understand, if you do it right, how difficult this is going to be. So, Dustin, how difficult is this going to be?
It's absolutely the most hardest thing that you're ever going to do in your life. It's the most challenging thing that you're ever going to do in your life. And before you start even thinking, considering a competition, you really have to nail down your foundations. And what I mean by that is, how does your training look? Are you just going to the gym and you're not really sweating? You're between sets, you're on your phone, on Instagram. The connection to your muscle groups that you are trying to work isn't really there. And then outside of the training aspect of things, because I mean, honestly, that's the easy part. Mm-hmm. How does your nutrition look? Are you able to stick to a nutrition regimen? Are you able to eat 5-6 meals a day and part them out 2 to 3 hours apart and be okay with that? Are you weighing out your food? How strict can you get? If you can match all of these things, well, then the next step would be, okay, now how do I further this journey? And that challenge may be stepping on stage. Have you been to a competition? Have you seen what it looks like? Have you spoken to experienced athletes? Have you spoken to a coach? All these things are very important. But to mainly answer your question, this is going to be the hardest, most difficult thing that you've ever accomplished in your life.
And I think majority of it, I would say 95% of it is because of food. It's all food related, guys.
All diet.
It's all diet. I mean, Natalia over here has to lock her cabinet, literally lock her cabinet.
I had to change the lock to the one with the lock to the pantry, and I gave it to my husband. I said, watch me, like, not just like give it to me to get something, but stand there, because I almost had like a second personality as I'm entering the pantry. But you're right, it's the hardest thing, and I've been through a lot, and I want to say that I was a big water fasting. Like I did like water fast, and the longest I've ever done was 21 day. 21 day, no food, just water. And I thought that was hard, but this is actually harder, because once you have no food, maybe after day 7, you stop being obsessed.
Yep.
But 16 to 20 weeks of low food, it's so much harder.
Yeah.
It's so much harder. So you're right.
Exactly. And what you just said, it gets easier after 7 days. Like, if you guys could stick to a plan for 7 days, it's the same thing as Dustin. We did 2 carb meals for almost for weeks and weeks this last show, right? Yeah. The second we added in a few more carb meals,
oh my fucking
guys, your appetite goes through the roof. Your cravings go through the roof. So, you will get used to the diet. But again, like, if you spend the first whole prep cheating and like throwing everything out the window, you're only going to make it hard on yourself, man. Stay on that discipline, stay on that plan until I hit it right on the head. The longer you do something, the easier it's going to become. Yeah. If you diet for 3 days and then you go off the track and you eat a half a jar of peanut butter, like that, you're screwed. You're done for another 4 or 5 days. And I actually witnessed that too. Every time Dustin would give me a refeed meal, I would get it on Sundays, right? Or Saturdays, whatever. Sunday would be hard. Monday would be really hard. Tuesday would be really hard. Wednesday a little easier. Thursday easier. Now back on track and I don't care about food no more. So stick to your plan.
Yeah, and I would just like to add on top of this, whether you're a natural athlete or an enhanced athlete, it's still hard to do this competition as an enhanced athlete. Nothing gets easier by taking additional supplement.
Yeah.
It is not easier. Like, you actually have to be even more precise on your diet, because if you start cheating while taking these supplements, you can actually outgrow your division on accident, especially if you're a bikini girl. It's so much harder actually to be an enhanced athlete in this industry, because you can mess up, especially if you have a coach that's not knowledgeable and you do go down that, route. So don't think like jumping on stuff is the key to winning your show. It's not. The key to winning your show is being 100%, not just on your training, not just on your cardio, but on your diet.
Yeah.
You have to be 100% on the diet, whether you're natural or not natural.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can. So as I was going through like my first competitions and everything like that, the ghrelin hits. You're really hungry. You don't know whether or not you're going to be able to make it through. You're opening up the pantry and just fucking looking at it. You know what I mean?
How many hours we spent
How
looking?
many times have you opened up the fridge knowing damn well you can't eat anything in that
smell it.
motherfucker, but you just open it up and you're just like,
Or it goes to a donut shop.
right? Yeah. Or like me, if you like extreme torture, go into the donut shop, smell and look at your favorite donuts, and then walk
leave.
out. I mean, I'm okay doing that type of shit. I'm disciplined in that nature. But what I'm trying to get at is that you have to challenge yourself. Let's say you cheat one time, cool, whatever, and you're 90% on your diet for this 1 week. Challenge yourself the next week to be like, I wonder what's going to happen if I stick to this meal plan 100% of the time, and watch your body change. I promise you, you're going to be more influenced by the results that you receive rather than the hunger and the cravings that you have. Those hunger and cravings will subside as you start to see all the changes in your body. That is going to feed you as you continue to go on.
Yeah, I think the best thing that happened to me in prep was changing my mindset from I'm 12 weeks out from a show, like I'm not going to have a cheat meal for 12 weeks, to changing my mindset and being like, let me just do it for today. It's just a one-day thing, and taking it day by day. If you only think about it in 24-hour segments, it becomes so much easier. But when you change the mindset to, oh my gosh, this is going to be 12 weeks, 16 weeks of my life. Like I'm not going to be able to eat this one specific thing that I'm currently craving at the moment for another 16 weeks. You're going to lose it and you're going to crave. But if you're like, let me get through these 24 hours, you're going to be a lot more successful.
100%. And the biggest thing that I always tell my athletes is that food is just a temporary satisfaction. Do you guys remember that little scoop of almond butter you cheated on fucking 16 weeks out, 12 weeks out from your show, or 8 weeks out from your show? You're never going to remember that, but you will remember that first place fucking victory. You will remember those overall titles. You will remember that suffering leading up to the show, man. And you guys have to embrace that suffering. That's the number one thing I want people to understand in this sport. If you do not embrace that suffering, man, you will fucking lose, and you will hate yourself for it. At least if you lose and you gave 100%, you know that, okay, I gave 100%. I can't really be too mad, and just keep going that. But another one I want to talk about too is, when to take PEDs, right? Like I do think that there's a time and place for them. I think they are, needed in the NPC. Let's be honest, right? I think, but don't be discouraged. If you're a natural athlete and want to compete, don't go out there and beat yourself up if you lose, because the NPC it's one of those things, man. It doesn't matter what division you compete in, bikini, figure, physique, women's physique, men's bodybuilding, whatever, you're going to have to take something to win an NPC, period. Dustin, what do you got? PEDs. First time competitors.
Did my first 3 competitions natural. Started my first competition, I believe I was either 30 or 31. So that goes to show you essentially that you don't necessarily need to take steroids early on. I believe that you should stay natural for as long as you can. Build those habits, build those foundations. PEDs isn't a miracle drug. It's not a end all be all to all of your your suffering or just to solve all your problems in terms of your muscle mass. You have to put in the work. You have to lay the foundations first. From there, yes, I do agree that if you want to continue to evolve into this sport and grow into a pro, if that's something that you so choose to want to do, PEDs are going to be a necessary thing that you have to take. But please do it smartly. Yeah. Please have a coach that's understanding and knowledgeable with all of those type of things so that you can navigate that journey as safely as possible.
Exactly. And he hit it right in the head there again, man. Like, you know, you have to get somebody who knows what the hell they're doing, right? We don't understand how many people we get that, you know, their dosaging is like way up here. And we're like, who the fuck told you to take that, right? Yeah. So I know, you know, Natalia, I want to hear your side on these things. What do you think about it?
I have a friend who is a natural bikini competitor, and she told me so many things that just sank in my mind about the prep, and she was natural. She said, you know, there will be time when even the Stairmaster doesn't work anymore. There's always Jacob's ladder. And this is exactly the attitude that you should inherit.
Yep.
Don't think like, okay, there's like still like those magical drops. I'm just gonna pop them and do nothing. We all did stairs. I saw people doing stairs for over 45 minutes, which is, to me, like hell.
Death.
So nothing will replace your cardio and diet. Nothing. Like you could take all PDs in the world. So that's how I feel. There's always Jacob's ladder, you know.
Yeah.
So, but what was your question? Like,
my question is natural, like first-time competitors, when should they take that next step into taking something?
when your coach, ask your coach.
So I think,
like, for example, like I had to beg for it.
Yeah, she did.
I had to beg. It was not pushed on me in any way.
Thank you. Can we clip that and just
Yes,
put that out there for people?
I had to beg. I had to present my case. Like
She did. The trend was in there in the case. That was at the bottom there. She hid that one from me, but we talked about it.
But
you know,
it helps. I'm not gonna lie.
Of course.
But I'm with Dustin. You need to have everything else already in order, because there's like sometimes I feel there's like a sacred war between natties and people who are not.
Yeah.
And both think that they are like true heroes.
well,
But like especially the natural people, they
the natural people just be like,
like,
I'm natural. You ain't shit.
Smelling their own fucking
like
ass.
there were
and shit.
crusaders
It's like,
in the mid-centuries. So same thing. Like sometimes I feel there's like some kind of war happening.
Oh, there's 100% a war.
oh yeah,
And,
Who would win though? Who would win that war?
you know what I'm saying? I believe enhanced athletes.
Yeah, you know what pisses me off? It's like when people they're like, "Oh, I'm natural." Yeah, like look at me, I'm not. You look natural. Like you don't have to say it, buddy. Okay, you look. You are natural. You look natural. You don't need to talk about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone goes off on that whole natural shit. Like just because I'm willing to take stuff doesn't mean you need to talk shit to me.
Exactly.
But what
Different
pisses
goals.
me off is that they think that you take something and you have to just pretty much lay on a couch,
Yes.
and hop some like maybe 2 pizzas, and
they do think that.
you'll grow, like you will wake up being a Greek god. So I have to work harder actually, because I feel like, well, I am on something that I'm not gonna waste a day.
Exactly.
So, and after that, when you stop taking it, you work even harder just to keep it all.
Yeah. Yep.
So I feel that it's almost like it's a catch. You somehow like you're working harder. You think you like it's miracle something, but you work harder than
Absolutely.
I would have before, because I do not let myself a day of slack.
Nope.
Because why would I? My liver is not getting slack, so I better go and
That's awesome.
put the work in.
That's
It's
it.
it's a performance enhancing drug.
Exactly. You have
And
to
if you
perform.
don't have any performance, it's not
Yes.
going to enhance shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you sit on the couch and you intake an excess amount of calories, those calorie partitionings are going to go to fat. It's not going to go to muscle. There has to have the performance with it.
I would like to jump in though and say that you can compete and you can be natural. You just have to be in the right federation.
Yes.
Okay.
There is different federations.
So yeah, we can talk about that, but you need to decide first of all what your goal is. Like if your goal is to become a pro in the most prestigious sense, you need to compete in PC. At these regional shows, completely fine to go natural, but when you go to that like national ranking, you will, even in bikini, be competing against girls on drugs. For bikini girls, personally, I would say you need to make sure that your goal is to go pro, like you're doing it for the right reasons, but you also need to already hit like your growth potential. Yeah. Like if you just started training 3 months ago for the first time, please do not take drugs. Oh. Like you have not hit your full growth potential yet. Like you're supposed to take these enhancing drugs to enhance you once you've already hit your max, because once you start taking these drugs, you kind of like cut off your natural growth here. So if you are like bikini, because that's, you know, my specialty, like I would only encourage it for those going the NPC route who are looking to turn pro or getting those overall titles back to back. However, I want it to be known that there are natural federations that you can compete in if that is something you want to do. A popular one is OCB, so those are natural shows. You do P tests, you do polygraph tests. So if that's the route that you want to do, don't feel like you have to do drugs, because there are outlets for you. It's just not like the top of the line bodybuilding shows. So it's just you need to know what your goals are and you need to pick a federation. And there's also some other federations out there like PCA, but they also use drugs in that one. I want to say almost every single federation uses drugs except for OCB. So
OCB is definitely the one, and I fully agree with every single one of you guys. You know, you have to build an amazing foundation. The best thing I ever did was, you know, stayed natural till 23. I started training when I was 14. Natural as long as, well, to me that was a long time. But then I wanted to turn pro. Fuck it, I took some shit, whatever. But I do want it to be known that when you stop taking it, guys, it is a balloon effect. It is temporary. The second you guys stop, you're going right back to where the fuck you were. So exactly what she said. If you don't spend that time and build a natural foundation, and you're, let's say you're 150 pounds, you stop PEDs, you're probably going to right back to 150 pounds of muscle, right? So build that foundation and go from there. So big topic I want to talk about now is finances, right?
Yep, that's exactly where I was going to go.
People don't understand. This sport is freaking expensive, man.
Very expensive.
It is very expensive. Let's talk about finances real quick.
All right. Well, you know, on the male side of things, I would say it's a little less expensive, because when it comes to the females, they have a lot to consider.
I got you, don't worry.
Yeah. So I'll let Raven deal with that. But in terms of the male side of things, okay, so we have your entry fees towards your competition, depending on how many classes or divisions that you're going to do, your crossovers, you know, you got to pay for each and every one of those. Then we have tanning, okay? On top of that, you have to consider what type of trunks you're going to wear. Depending on your division, there can be board shorts, they can be the tidy, whitey, frickin' classic physiques, or the thong if you're doing bodybuilding. And then on top of that, leading up to your competition, you have to consider whether or not you're going to get a coach. That coach is going to cost some money. Are you going to do one-on-one training? That's going to cost you some money. Posing. That's going to cost you some money if, in fact, you find yourself a posing coach and you're not specifically just doing everything off of YouTube. On top of that, you have food. Food ain't cheap. It isn't cheap.
Especially if you get fresh stuff. It's
exactly.
Not cheap.
Not
you don't
at
want
all.
that frozen tilapia.
No, definitely. You know?
For egg whites.
Yeah, you want,
Oh my gosh, egg
Or
whites.
you're going to grab a whole bunch of crates of eggs and only use the egg whites out of the crates. And then, you know, if in fact you have everything in place in terms of your foundation and all that, as we explained earlier in this, are you going to be taking PEDS?
And not even just that, natural supplements.
Natural supplements as well. They ain't cheap. Your protein, your BCAAs, all your wellness products in terms of multivitamin, TUDCA, you know, liver support,
Exfoliant
NAC,
for tan.
exfoliant. Yeah, dude, it's not cheap.
It's a big one. It's not cheap, guys. And people get into the sport thinking that it's going to be like a cheap thing. And I always try to break it down for our clients. I think we do a pretty good job at that. We break it down. That's how they go.
I have travel and expenses.
Oh yeah, you can't forget about that. If in fact your show is not local and you can't sleep in your own bed, you're gonna have to travel. That whether that be airplane tickets, rental car, hotel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then
Coaches passes.
Coaches passes is huge. And then it adds up more for women. Like we want to get specifically into some numbers. Like hair alone, $150. Ladies, just curl your own hair. But it's okay. So you have hair, $150. You have makeup, roughly $150.
Some of them are doing for $300.
Yeah, some of them.
Insane.
You guys just book through the NPC suggested makeup people. Like they are only $150. It's when you go to those outside private ones that specialize at weddings. Don't book those people. They've never done a show tan and match the show tan a day in their life. Know who you're booking. The producers or you people who run these shows give you people that are experienced. So go with them. And then you also have your suit. Your suit's going to cost you, I've seen a minimum of $350, but personally I paid $1,200 for my suit, and that was with a 15% discount. So they do range up there. Again, you have your tan and your exfoliant and your food and your coaching and all of that type of stuff. But ladies, your stuff really racks up with your suit, your hair, your makeup. Jewelry is a huge one. Your high heels. Because you're going to have hair extensions. You guys grow your hair out. Like, don't decide to chop your hair off.
This is natural, guys.
This is all natural. I take supplements to keep her healthy. Matt almost killed me one season when I decided to cut like 5 inches off. But she grew back in time. But yeah, if you're starting a prep, do not cut your hair off because it's going to be easier to maintain when you're sweaty in the gym doing cardio. Just let it grow, put it in a ponytail, throw it in the bun, just deal with it. It'll be cheaper than buying hair extensions because half the time they don't even look good on stage and they don't match. Oh my gosh, rough. But yeah, it is expensive, and travel expenses is huge. I think my hotel for my last show was $800 alone.
Yeah, it ain't cheap.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, everywhere we go. I mean, we went to freaking St. Louis. That was a big boy trip.
That is ridiculous.
That was a big boy trip right there, guys. And that's just one show. Imagine if we went back to back to back to back. You're talking 10 grand in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
For sure. 100%. Even local shows. I mean, even like, just for some like the local shows that I've been to, gas driving there and back. I've traveled to the Panhandle a bunch of times for my shows. And dude, we're talking, I would say for a prep, $3 to $5 grand. Without even thinking about it. Like that's with food, natural supplements, everything.
I would say almost a little bit more if you're including your monthly coaching.
Yep.
It's probably going to be more on that 5,000, maybe even more if you're trying to get to that pro level. Like it's better to spend a little bit more money on that suit. It's better to get the better high heels, not the cheap $15 Amazon dollar one that you're going to trip on stage. Like get the right ones.
Yeah, go to Shoe Fairy, guys. Get your shoes on there. She's the shoe master over here. We'll get her talking about it. But a little tip for you guys that I definitely have is don't buy cheap shit. Like don't buy, same thing she just said. Don't buy a cheap ass suit for $300. Like you're going to look like shit on stage. You might as well spend the $800 if you can. To get a really nice suit that's going to last you for multiple shows, right?
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, suits used close. They're really good. Toxic Angel, really good. Get a nice suit for your first show, guys, because that show is going to last you all the way to nationals. If you get this cheap shit, it's not going to work. Natalia's been through a couple suits, but
you're gonna look like you bought. Sorry, you're gonna look like you bought your suit from Walmart and you just went to the kids section and got a bedazzler. Okay, you don't want to look like that. Anyways.
But there are ways to cut the expenses.
Yeah, there is.
Like you said, do your hair. Come on. Like I'm even thinking about doing my own makeup.
Do your hair.
Actually, I did do a hair myself.
Throw some extensions on that banger.
Yeah.
But even with makeup, you pay $175. Actually, it was, and you don't know what you're gonna get. Sometimes it's awful. I had at nationals, I was screwed up. She messed up my contacts. I had to change them. Oh, by the way, like if you're wearing contacts, do bring extras, not just like a solution. I'm just gonna quickly rinse it. Extra contacts because my makeup artist messed it up really bad. Like I couldn't even clean it. I had to replace it. Lost some time. My makeup was not even completely finished when Jen came running. Like they glaze in figures. Like you have to leave now, and I I just ran. And like I had like no lipstick still. Like the girl actually behind the stage was like, "Oh, you have like, let me put some, like some something on my cheeks, whatever." So you can do your own makeup. Maybe not the first time.
Yeah, I would say second show.
Yeah.
Get it done your first one so you can kind of see the tan process.
Second season.
Yeah, second season. That's a good.
I also have my suit. I bought secondhand, but it's a tricky one because you need to know if you're gonna fit, right? Because it's not like if I had the opportunity of trying it on, then it will be cool. But I took a leap of faith. I followed this girl. She was from UK. She was awesome, and we just happened to be the same height, same weight, and I just loved her personality. I would wear anything that she was wearing, just like that. She had 2 overalls wearing that suit, and I added 2 more overalls. So
4 overalls in the suit.
4 overalls, and that suit is retired now. It's gonna go, and it'll be framed.
That's
but
awesome.
yeah, you can buy a secondhand suit if you know exactly what your measurements are.
Right.
But it's a risk.
It
Yeah.
is.
At the end of the day, it's a
I
risk.
agree with you. I agree with you. But it's almost like, say like I'm buying $1,000 suit and next season I want a new one. Of course, I'm not gonna sell this one for $1,000. So it's like a wedding ring. It drops
Depreciates.
in price immediately. So it's a good way, especially like they have now at least 4 Facebook groups where they sell in their
they do.
suits.
Gotcha.
And if you monitor it and if you wait, like obviously, like if you need it immediately, nothing's gonna you're taking big risk.
Now, guys, this is specifically for females because guys, we don't pass along suits like that. So there's no rental opportunities over here. Okay, we wear it once because it's cheap and it's done. So
Yeah, you pay like what, $15, $20? You guys are so annoying.
maybe like 20
For our
bucks.
suits?
Yeah.
Poor women,
Well, I
man.
mean, it really depends on what you're buying. When we went to freaking Quicksilver, that was
Gas.
$20. $20
$20.
$20 for a really great suit. But if you're going to like Chula or Manifest from Alex Toplin that just came out, or all the other ones, they're around $75.
Big spenders over
But at
here.
the same time, it's nowhere in comparison to what you ladies are.
And you can wear it later on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You cannot.
No.
I mean, I love to sport mine to the beach.
Yeah.
I'd get some heads, that's for sure.
Oh no, honey, you'd be gleaming.
All right,
Yeah.
so next subject in terms of this, but yes, understand that this sport is not a cheap sport. So please take heed in what we're saying. Next thing is relationships.
Oh, goodness.
How are your relationships?
This is a big one.
This is very taxing, not only on you. It's not only hard on you, but it's going to be hard on everybody around you, and they have to understand where they're at. So are your relationships fine? Raven, give us some insight in terms of relationships and how they can affect.
So I think when we quote on relationships, it's not necessarily just you and your partner, but it's also you and your colleagues at work.
Yep.
Like when you go into a prep, you need to understand that prep is going to be 100%. And even when you show up to work, no, you're not going to be 100% at work because you're always in this prep and you're going to show up tired. You're going to have issues at work being 100% effective. And then you're going to leave work and try to be 100% in your relationship, and that's not going to happen either. Like you and your partner need to have a conversation before you go into this prep. One about finances, and then 2 about like what they're going to expect out of you. You're not going to have the energy to cook your man's dinner every single night because you have your own meal prep. Like you don't want to cook dinner for them or your family or your kids having to pack their lunch boxes every night. It's going to affect like how you are as a mother or a father. And then, if you want to talk like down and dirty, like your bed life's not going to be there either.
Yep.
And your partner's going to need to understand that, I just did 2 45-minute sessions on a Stairmaster. I'm not trying to do an extra 30 tonight.
You know what
So,
I mean? Bouncy hop, I'll starfish.
Preach it, guys.
yeah,
Preach it.
I mean, they'll talk. Yeah, they'll talk more about that from the guy's perspective. But even for females, natural or not natural, I ain't got the energy for that. And
100%.
I will say it did affect my relationship. My boyfriend's like, "Are you ever going to touch me again?" I said, "We'll think about it when I'm done prepping." Like, still loved the man, still attracted the man, didn't have the energy.
Yeah.
Blame my coach.
Yeah, blame me, I guess. But no, man, that is beyond true, guys. And the biggest thing that I think you guys take from this is sit everyone down that's close to you.
Yep.
Immediately before you do a prep. And I still did the same thing to Teresa, to my kids, to friggin' everyone in my life. I said, look, this is going to be tough. And if you don't understand this, you will not be here at the end. Period. You will not be here at the end because I need you being supportive. If you're not supportive of me and you're not going to, when I snap at you, it's not that I don't love you. It's just that I am so frustrated because I have so much cardio to do. And I'm obviously, we're guys, we have all the fucking PEDs running through us. We have to do 2 hours of fucking cardio. We're doing 6 meals a day. This motherfucker's not giving me any food. I'm already pissed off at him, but I can't be mad at him because he's my damn coach. So I'm going to be mad at you. And then I'm snapping at you. And then you go out. It's a whole mess, guys. So I think you should sit them down. Make sure that they understand that you're going to be extremely dead. You're going to be an absolute zombie, especially those last 4 weeks of prep, right? And again, sex life is not there, right? You're going 2-3 months without sex. Let's be honest with you guys. And it's not because that we're not attracted to you or something's weird or something. It's just that we don't have energy to be doing no 30-minute sessions. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if we can get away with 2 minutes, maybe, but not even then, guys. 2 minutes is a lot when you're thinking about fucking tilapia and spinach in 30 minutes. It's 9 o'clock, bitch. I'm gonna go eat. So it's very tough, man, and it's tough.
And then you get cramps.
Oh my gosh.
You imagine the cramps, dude? Holy shit! You're like, all right, yeah. You know what? Forget it. I can't. I'm tapping out. It's gone.
Yeah.
No more blood flow. But yeah, no, relationships is a big one. Natalia, what do you got on this
I
one?
feel like I went in details on the second podcast. I was a bitch. and like you said, I can't be a bitch to you.
Yeah.
But you being bitch to the closest people around you. So I don't want to go into that. But I just remembered how my kids were like, "Mommy, when is your show?" It's like in 5 weeks. So they were like this. They were like gently asking, "When is it?" And I didn't even think why they asking. And only now I'm realizing that they were also like suffering a little bit, even though I never yelled at them, my poor husband. But they were like this, and only now I'm realizing they were also not very comfortable in living like this, and they were gently like when is your show? And yeah, it was, and I didn't sit down with them because it was my first time. I did not know what to expect. I didn't sit them all like, I will next year. Like, you remember that year? It's coming.
It's coming up.
And you just want to be alone. You just want to be let alone. Like, just leave me. I was not present. I was present, but I was not. I was not cooking. I was not going to any events. I was just like, just let me be. Like, I'm not expecting you to make this easier for me, but I also expect you not to give me more.
Yeah.
So
100%.
just let me handle it. I can only do my part. I'm not doing anything else. I'm not going to be a wife. I'm not going to be a mother, not a house cleaner, nothing. That was hard.
Yeah. And I think everyone handles it a little bit differently. Yeah. Like, me personally, I don't go to do extracurricular activities, right? Like when I'm prepping, it's game time that every ounce of energy is going into this prep 100%. Now, again, we both have kids. Well, all three of us have kids. Someday you'll have some kids, but
I have a cat.
Maybe she has a cat. Kind of counts, right? But like, we understand that we have to give energy towards our children, right? Like I did a really good job. Dustin does a great job. But when it comes to everything else, I'm not doing, right? Like I'm not going to Busch Gardens for the day. I'm not going to the movies tonight because I don't want to smell that fucking popcorn. I'm not going to go to the mall and go walk around and go shopping because Annie Ann's is over there and I smell that fucking cinnamon.
So good.
And I'm like, I don't want that. I want that, so I can't be there. And shout out to Dustin because he does a great job for going around and still being very active and going to the beach. And like me personally,
man.
I don't want to do it. Like I don't want to do it. And again, just because you're hearing this does not mean that you need to act like me. This does not mean that you need to act like Natalia or Raven because Dustin is. Pretty much, he did very well. You always went out with the family. Yeah. He tried his best, and he understands that he didn't want his family life to suffer. No. He did a great job. So, I mean, pick up on that, Dustin.
It's really hard. And again, trying to sit down with the family and let them know what they're going to experience. I mean, it at least gives them a heads up. I wish I could have those conversations, with my daughters, but they don't really understand. And you don't want your kids to suffer. It was my choice to do this. I'm going to try my best to be as present as I can be, even though it's hard. And so, when Marie would ask me, hey, you want to go to the beach or do you want to go do this? Let's go to the park. And I'm like, deep down, I'm like, fuck no, I don't want to go, but at the same time, it's like, I understand. I want to be there for the kids, and I want to try to do something. Now, I might not be up running around and be the most playful dad because I just don't have the energy to do that. But I'll at least try to be present and try to swing around and do some sort of things with the kids. But yeah, it's not easy. But make sure that your relationships are intact.
And if you're not specifically a competitor watching this, and you're somebody that is just maybe Natalia's husband, or like somebody that somebody who preps that sees this, you are the biggest reason why they will pretty much succeed or fail. You're the biggest reason, right? Yeah. If you're making it harder on them guys, they're going to be so stressed out, man. Their cortisol levels going to go up through the roof. Their body's not going to respond. So this has a catapult effect that could possibly happen, deaths in the family, obviously you can't predict that, but like just stress in general. Like we had, unfortunately, something happened with Marie where she had to go on his peak week, and it did mess him up. His cortisol level went up, and we had a rough peak. Let's be honest, it was rough.
Absolutely.
Actually, I was gonna say, I know one competitor, and he complained to me. He said every time, the day before competition, my wife pick up the fight, and she would just make me so mad, and I'm always wired and look good. So
yeah, and and to be 100% honest, when I was 3 days out from my last show, Teresa broke down and cried and was like, I just need my boyfriend back, and I was pretty mean, what I'm saying? I was like, this is not the time, okay? And I was extremely mean, but it is so brutally hard on our significant others, man. It is brutal. I mean, I don't know how many times I talked to Marie talking off a ledge, you know what I'm saying? It was a lot. It was a lot, guys, and and you have to be there for your partner. So that is so important, and
I would say another thing that really contributes to the relationship as a whole is the amount of time that we need during prep. Something to talk about is how much time do you need to have set aside every single day for prep? And this is kind of where, your significant other and your kids start to get affected, is you're not as home as much because you have longer sessions in the gym, and you need more time to prep, and you need more time to go sit in the sauna as you get closer to your show. And I don't think a lot of people, especially first timers, really consider how much time gets taken out of your day every single day for 20 weeks in order to compete. I had a client that was like, I will only do up to 30 minutes of cardio, and I only have an hour to train. And she texted me, not my client anymore because it drew the line, but she texted me and said, this workout you gave me took me an hour and 20 minutes. I only have an hour. What should I take out? I said, you know what? You decide what you take out. Whatever you take out, your competitor is going to do.
Yes.
I gave you a plan that's going to help you achieve what you're paying me to do. If you can't allot the time for it, that's not my problem. I'm giving you the plan for success. If you follow it, that's on you. Every single thing that you don't do, somebody else is doing.
Exactly.
So, but time is a huge factor. You have to have time to do those workouts. You have to have time for cardio. You have to have time to cook.
I was just gonna say, not many people understand the you have to cook.
You have to cook.
You have to prep your food. That's not that is time that's taken out of your day so that you can prepare your food for whatever you want to do. Now, whether or not you're prepping, or I'm gonna cook, I don't know, 3 to 5 pounds of chicken, and then I'm going to put that in a bag, chop it up, make sure it's good, and then I will parse it out as I go. Or, you have some people who want to cook every single meal, fresh as hell, every single time, which is fine, but
that's why I quit my teaching job, so I could cook all my meals.
Yeah, no, but you're right, man. And I think as I started prep, I was cooking every meal fresh. Every goddamn meal fresh. But then as I came in there, I was like, dude, I ain't got fucking time, dude. I got to do 2 sessions of cardio. I got to take Brandon football. I got to do all this. So then I started prioritizing, right? And then I would at least cook my chicken fresh, right? Or cook my fish. I can never eat fish that's not fresh. Really quick tip, guys. Don't go buy frozen fucking fish, okay? Go to the store, spend $7.99 on fresh goddamn tilapia. It's the cheapest shit ever. You're gonna thank me later. So big one there. But go.
I'm the opposite. If it doesn't smell bad, even though I know I cooked it 2 weeks ago, still goes into
Absolute savage.
2 weeks ago.
That's not good.
No thanks.
So there's a competitor. I'm not gonna say who it is, but I'm not exaggerating. She works in construction, right? She would let her tilapia sit without ice, guys, for 12 hours.
It's warm.
12 hours, bro.
I love it.
And she'd be sitting there eating.
And rice is
the reason why we went to a show, and she drove from, it was a 7-hour show. She drove all the way to the show. And when we get to the show, she pulls it out, and I'm like, you didn't put that on ice? I said, that's fish. I said, I'm not allowing you to eat that shit. Man, I've been doing this my whole fucking prep, whatever. Okay, all right, well, shit, damn. So I don't even know, she didn't die.
So did she eat that?
She ate the
shit
whole
every day.
the whole thing, 0 digestion problems. So I don't know what happened
I love
there.
it.
Pretty sure
crazy.
she still does that.
She probably does still do that.
From the
Alice,
post-
that's who we're talking about. We're talking about Alice here. She's absolute savage. of a
She
girl.
is. She's
Savage.
outside in the heat every
Bro.
single day.
The
just
tilapia's in the fucking
she
truck. for
is.
10
She
hours,
still
bro.
she still posts
It's
it.
hotter in the truck.
I don't know how
Bro,
she does
How'd she
that.
not get sick?
I don't know. That's wild.
Anyway, so time management.
It's you Americans, you're too soft.
That could be
okay?
it. We're bougie.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, we're very bougie. I'm thinking about if you're in Africa, dude, and you like kill something, right? It's in there for 3 days and you
digest
still eat it.
Yeah.
So
I can digest cement.
can you?
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
I am very bougie, I guess, you know. But I do want to talk about something, guys. So when you're at the show and you go to the show, right? What are these people going to expect when they're at the show? Let's talk about that real quick.
Like
Natalia.
backstage,
No, you know,
backstage,
what do you expect?
I
check-ins,
want
all
to
that.
touch the tanning part because I feel like I have a couple girls who, not that I mentored, but I did share with them my experience, and they were always like very, very nice. They'd listen every word I say, and later I said to them like, "This is why I like you guys, like, and I love sharing with you because you were listening to me." And one said, "Well, you never told us anything about what to expect when you go first time tanning." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, you're right." Because when I was prepping, I watched a podcast by Jamie Pinder. She's a pro in physique. And I watched it twice. I loved it. I actually sent the link to our group. I don't think anyone watched it. I watched it twice. I knew what to expect. But if you don't know what to expect, you might be a little shocked.
We'll talk about it. What should they
little?
expect? That's what we're going to talk
do
about.
it. Yes, you walk in, and it's an open room with like little cuts or tents.
Yeah, a little
And
tense.
you walk into the tent, strip naked, leave your clothes, leave your stuff on the floor. You walk out, walk naked, couple steps into the next tent where they spray tan you. It's cold.
It's freezing.
It's freezing. It's such an uncomfortable experience.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And well, at least we are sprayed by women.
Yeah.
Confirm to me, you are sprayed by
I
women
have been
too.
sprayed by
I've been sprayed
mostly
by-
women.
Yeah.
mostly
That-
women.
Mostly
that
women.
is an addition.
We do get a sock that I put on my
Which-
feet by accident.
yes.
But we do get a sock.
Well, I think you're forgetting the most shocking part. It's not just being naked and getting sprayed by a
Yes,
female.
I
It's
didn't finish it.
Yeah.
So after you sprayed, uncomfortable, cold, you freezing, you walk out and you dry in front of everyone.
In a fan.
And yeah, so there'll be like 3 fans and 4 or 5 girls, everyone starfish pose, and you try not to look around, but it's
it happens.
like it's in your face. So it's uncomfortable. And you know, if you are super uncomfortable, this is what Jamie Pinder suggested. She suggested to use the panty liner and just put it there. Like cover your vagina with panty liner. Actually, I've seen it. It's the first thing that pops. And
Oh my God.
yeah, it's weird. So you want to attract my attention? That put the panty liner. We try not to watch everyone, but it's hard not to.
For men, it's pretty much the same. I mean, pretty much the same. You know, you can choose to wear the sock or not wear the sock. You know, a lot of people don't wear the sock, and it's crazy to me because the people who don't wear the sock are the smallest in the room. So I'm very confused. What's your experience, man? You've been telling a lot more than me.
Well, I mean, I used to wear the sock. And then it just got to the point to where I've done this so many fucking times. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? And then I just did it naked. So, but now as a pro doing men's physique, you know, I'm not doing classic anymore. I don't necessarily have to worry about being completely tan. So in the case of being men's physique now, I can just do it in my boxers. I roll my boxers down, I pull this up,
I do
I
the
can
same thing.
shove it in my ass, you know what I mean? A little thong action, but you know. But I think that's funny because then the fucking tan line that you get, I'm like, look, man, what's up? Looks pretty funny. But yeah, same thing. You know, you get out of the tan, you go there, you're drying off with a bunch of the guys, depending on whether you're naked or you have a sock, doesn't really matter. But you know, you're bullshitting with all these guys and everything like that. The other thing that I want to touch on in terms of, you know, the first time that you're getting to the show is your check-ins, right? you don't necessarily have to go to check-ins in frickin' PJs or something like that. You know, be something sort of presentable. What you have to understand, and how, you know, what we spoke about all the time, is that you're not just going to check-ins. These people that are checking you in
Checking
are
you out.
actually judges, and they're looking at you. You are then giving that impression. So understand that you don't want to be rude to somebody that is going to have the ability to judge you the following day. So just realize that you're not just going to check-ins. This is a first impression, and everybody involved is going to be involved in either judging, expediting, or whatever the case may be backstage.
So do not be rude.
No,
Period.
no. And if you have to weigh in, make sure you're tight. Don't just let everything out. You know what I mean? Stay tight and everything, especially if you're with us, right? Because if you're with us, there is a certain expectation, because we're pretty known around the circuit, and they know that we bring conditioned athletes. And so there's a certain expectation that's involved, not only just with our team, but the judges and everybody involved in the competition have an expectation when they see our team.
Yeah, that actually brings, like, because Dustin's talking about team atmosphere, especially backstage at a show. I think something really important to consider, too, as a first-time athlete is deciding if you want a coach that has more of a team feel or a coach that isn't necessarily a team feel. Like, I feel like we've gotten a lot of girl clients because they've seen us, or male clients too, backstage, and we bring this team camaraderie, and you know, your coaches are backstage with you, and you just have this different type of feel and calming because you have this whole group with you. And that's something to be mindful too, is I see a lot of girls first time going this individually and their coaches don't show up backstage. I will say, 9 out of 10 times coaches don't even show up for you backstage. And you know, we've gotten a lot of clients because of that, because they want their coach there. They want multiple coaches there. They want to be with athletes that are experienced also with them at that show, that are going to calm them down before going on stage. And I think that's a huge part for new athletes to understand and decide early on. Do you want your coach at your show? Do you not want your coach on your show? Because you need to ask that before you even start prep. You need to ask that when you're, you know, vetting out coaches and you're on these first initial phone calls, and that's something people don't think about asking.
It's almost like one of the last things to think about. I mean, we went to Mel's show and we had, technically we had 4 coaches almost there. Me, you, and we had, she was competing, but she was also a coach. So it was pretty cool. She got really busy after that show because they saw her, even as she was competing, she was helping all the girls out, right? And Jose flew down from Texas to do that. So it's so important, man. Like, you don't want to get a coach that isn't going to be your show. I do coach, to be honest with you, I coach girls from out of state, and I've been to all their shows. I think I missed one show in the past 2 years since I've been coaching. So I will actually fly out. But the busier coaches get, the less likely that is to happen, right? Like now, looking at this year, I know that there's only a certain amount of shows that I'm going to be able to make. I have my son's football, whatever. But you're 100% right. Having that team atmosphere is super important. And also, like, the biggest thing I see people doing is, like, they'll be looking on social media and they're looking at all these pros, and they're not realizing this is their first time competing, and they think they should be looking like Laura Lee. They think they should be looking like Chris Spencer. They think they should be looking like, you know, Alex Tomlin and all these really popular pros, when majority of the competitors that get on stage, it's their first time. They're coming in, they're not looking the best either. Like, most of these people who come in aren't really in shape. And this is why I always say, people, if you master the conditioning, you master your mind, you give it 100%, you're going to beat 90% of the people. Yes, you might run into a Natalia, a Dustin, a Raven that just shows up at your show, but majority of the time, that's very few and far between.
And I want to add, you can be conditioned, you can look your best, but nothing will replace that stage experience. So you can do also like multiple opposing coaches in sessions. Nothing, you will just like blank out on stage. You're like a deer in a headlight. Nothing will replace just that stage presence. You can imagine in your head every night, like I did, but still the first time you hit the stage, you're like, oh,
shock,
like this, right? So don't expect to be flawless. Just do your best. It does become better.
Well, I think, you know, we demand excellence on this team, and I think the biggest thing that people fuck up is they don't fucking pose. Natalia, they don't pose, right? How many times did I get on your ass in prep? Do you think you would have tripped on stage if you posed every day? No, and that's the reason, man. If you want to win these shows, guys, posing is so important, Natalia.
I'm a preacher.
Preach about it.
I tell every girl on our team,
Yep.
you can be a winner, but if you don't pose enough, you're done.
Yep.
You'll
Yeah.
never be first. Never.
I think that's a great thing to touch on too, is I feel like girls see girls backstage and they're like, they have a better body than me. Guess what? If you can pose better than that girl, if you can hide your flaws and they can't, you just beat them. Doesn't matter what they look like backstage. They might have a full 6-pack, the nicest, tightest glutes, but if those glutes jiggle on stage and yours don't, guess
Or
who's
they're
now
out there,
getting?
they're like this.
Oh
they're
my!
posing,
Oh my
you know?
gosh! The arms or the teacup arms or the
Fucking
flailing.
stirring
This.
the pot.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
God! There was a girl at the last competition. They traded places. You 59 with this one. She came back, turned around, went over here. She got in her pose, and she was just
Yes.
fucking sitting here. And I was like, "Stop stirring the pot!" And her coach was right
Yes.
here, and he said something in like Portuguese because I'm pretty sure she was
Yeah.
Brazilian. And then she was like,
Yeah, I mean, I see some of these girls with amazing physiques, but they're not confident on stage, or they even picked a suit that doesn't match their skin tone or
Right.
their hair.
Or
You
a
guys,
small suit.
girls, you are getting judged. Not just on your body, you're getting judged on your hair and your makeup, you're getting judged on your suit color, and you're getting judged on your tan.
Stage
I'm on a
presence.
Facebook did you see that post? So I was on a Facebook page. I'm sure she saw the same one. This girl, phenomenal, pro level. She didn't even want to ask for feedback. She did finally ask for feedback. Her feedback was her tan made her skin look nasty. That was what they said. Her skin almost looked like black instead of tan, like there was patches. It's because she was trying to like cover up a tattoo, a bruise, tattoo. She was trying to cover up something, and then the tanning company messed up. Then they offered a refund, all that.
She placed 7th.
Yeah, and she should have been overall winner. So don't think it's all about how much muscle you have, because let's be honest, bikini division, it's almost a beauty pageant with muscle. If your tan's not there, and that goes into like the cost of exfoliating, you need to start that a couple weeks out. That's gonna make or break you. So don't worry about these girls on Instagram that are posting good selfies with a 6-pack in the gym, because if they're not, prepping their skin, if they don't have the right color hair extensions, if
They buy a cheap suit.
they buy a cheap suit or the one that falls off of them, or there's just so many factors that go into it, especially in the like female
I
divisions.
want to touch the how dark or light your tan is.
Yeah.
And especially as a new competitor, you don't know what to expect. And my first competition, my second competition, my first I wasn't too like dark enough. And my second one, I still had this remainder tan left when I went like a week later, and I was perfect. So I wanted to say that there's no such thing as being too dark, but there's definitely such thing as being not dark enough.
"Exactly."
I recently had that problem.
And especially
Raven needs
if
like
you
16
light skin
coats.
like us.
Yeah, look how white she is, guys. She's like me,
Yes.
but
and I wanna say something. When it was at Nationals, I'm not gonna name the company, but as they spray me, and I always tell them, I'm light skinned. I need it to be dark. Like, don't assume that. Oh, no, it's okay. It's gonna develop. And
Shut up, ain't
first
developing.
time,
Put it on me.
I would not say anything. Of course, I don't know better.
Right.
Second, and later, I'll be like,
Re-
no, I
Another
know
coat.
myself. Make it again, like
Yeah.
second coat. And one person was very nice, and she was maybe she even like saw it, and she said, "Would it make you happy if I put the second coat?" And I said, "Yes."
Yes.
She's like, "Let's do it." So she did. But at Nationals, I overheard like a teenage girl come into the spray person, and she said, "Hey, like Julia, Daddy said not to use double coats. It's too expensive."
Yep.
So that's their goal.
Yeah, they
Save
don't-
money.
Yeah,
What
save as much money as
So
yeah.
they don't care. You're gonna be too light. If you're gonna win, you're gonna place 7th. They don't care. It's your responsibility. And I always tell this like, again, you need to know how dark you need to be. But once you know it, make sure they get you there. Because they'll always be like, no, it's going to develop overnight. And if it's not, tomorrow we'll spray you, second time we'll spray you. No, spray me twice now.
Yep, exactly. Get a good base.
And actually, like, I don't mind. When we did Olympia Amateur, there was a choice to do double
Two
spray.
coats.
Yeah,
two
they give you like a
coats.
3-coat
Like
deal
it
or
was at
something.
6 p.m. and 9 p.m. And of course I chose that.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that choice, be nice.
Yeah.
Tip them, and ask for especially like if you light. If you're darker than I don't know, darker than us, maybe you'll get away. But if you're light, don't take chances.
Yeah, I mean, it happened to me at nationals, and we didn't even really realize it happened to me until we were on stage, and Matt was showing me a photo in between shows, and I'm like 3 shades lighter than all the other girls, and I go in for my touch-ups, and I tell the lady, and she goes, yeah, you know, we messed up a couple girls. Do you want me to do 2 coats now? I'm like, well, pre-judging's done. I already have my placing. I'm clearly not fighting for overall, so don't even waste your money.
Yeah.
Like, I spent $175 for what?
Yeah, not to get white, to look
yeah.
white.
And it was just like, you have to know those things before you go on to pre-judging, because that's where you're getting judged. That's a great thing to talk about too, is in the morning show, that is when you are getting judged. By nighttime, you should already know what you're placing. So don't think you can be like, oh, I tripped on stage. I'm going to fix it at the night show and place better. No, the judges are already done. The night show is basically for your friends and family to come see you on stage and you to get an award. Yep. You get judged in the morning show during comparison. So if your tan's not right for comparison, it's game over.
Yeah. But I do want to say, though, we did have Tim Gardner on yesterday, and they actually rejudged like 2 or 3 classes. Yeah. They rejudged 2 or 3 classes, guys. So it doesn't mean that it's completely over. When you go there, dominate, come back to finals. And big thing, guys, don't just go off and fucking eat whatever you want. Because we just talked to Tim. He does not like that. Judges see you. And like he said, he literally rejudged a class because what happened was is the winner came out, must have ate a bunch of shit, probably throughout, probably donut, probably some pizza, distended belly. He said, you know what, screw that, I'm switching the placings. He actually switched the placings, guys, on the spot at the show last weekend. So don't be retarded. You don't just be, it's not over till it's over, guys. Okay, so make sure you guys take that seriously. One more thing about the tan is like I feel like, you know, back in the day, 80s, 90s, they lived at the beach. They pre-tan, guys. They didn't have this pro-tan shit. Like, go tanning, man. Stop being lazy, dude. I don't know what was better on me, my conditioning or my tan for my show. You know what I'm saying? That's what Jordan told me. I was laughing my ass off. I was like, I don't know what I'm more impressed about. But guys, I tanned almost every other day. I was tanning, right?
Go outside.
It's hard. That's another thing. Time management. Fix it in there, you know? 10 minutes in a tanning bed. Best thing for me. I did like 1 tanning bed session. 2 hours later, I'll go lay in the sun for like 20, 30 minutes. Dude, I would be looking like Dustin. I was fucking tan, bro. I'm telling you, I might even be tanner than him. But that's a big thing, guys. And I know we don't have like the most time, but I want to get to what should people expect post-show. You know, that's the biggest thing. People get done with the show, it doesn't really just stop there, man. Like, there's post-show blues. There is, you know, are you going to stick with your coach and, you know, get on a nice, good reverse plan, which you need to do. Like, right after the show, Dustin hit me with it. Like, what should people expect after show?
Yeah, so right after your show, okay, you get a free day, all right? That's totally okay. Boom, you're done with your show. Go eat a meal with your family. Go indulge a little bit. It's okay to do that. Next day, have a great breakfast. And it can stop right there, and then you can start your reverse. Or, you know, it really depends on how your metabolism is, how bloated you feel from the night before and all that kind of junk. You might be able to have one more meal. Monday starts your reverse diet.
Yep, Monday.
From there, you just need to carry it on to where you're eating the same exact foods, but you're slowly increasing the amounts. That is going to allow you to keep as much of the fat off you as possible as you're going through into your off season. And if you don't, and you're just constantly indulging, constantly binging, well, the partitioning of your calories aren't going to go towards building more muscle. It's going to go towards fat. And you have to understand, after a competition is when your body is the most responsive. Utilize it properly. And if you utilize it properly, this can catapult you forward in terms of your muscle growth and your body's development in muscle mass and shape.
Yes.
So take it seriously. Your off season is the most important part. It is the time to which you're going to be spending the most time. Your competition, that's not, it is a shorter time span. So just understand, if you take your off season seriously, that is going to make your next prep that much easier.
Exactly. Yeah. One more thing I do want to do is before the rebound, before everything, when you get off that stage, guys, win or lose, do not beat yourself up. Okay.
Nope.
I don't know how many clients I've had get off stage and just hate their life and not even come back to the night show. We've had a client do that because they didn't place well. Guys, this is your first show, man. Win or lose, try not to beat yourself up, right? This is the beginning. I can't tell you how many athletes I've seen do a show, not place, that have amazing potential, but they just give up because they didn't win their first fucking show.
Yeah.
Like, guys, you're not going to win everything, okay? That's not how life works, unfortunately, right? Like, you could bring the best package in the world. You could bring the best goddamn figure package in the world. Natalia shows up. Good fucking luck, right? You could bring the best bikini package in the world. Raven shows up. You're getting shit on, okay? Dustin, same thing. We showed up, bro. We slaughtered all of them. Guys, that was your first fucking show. Do not beat yourself up. What do you got?
But I just want to say, both Natalia and Raven, we lost our first shows.
Yeah.
Well, didn't get the overall.
Yeah,
which is-
that's a loss.
Overall, that's a loss.
That's a loss. On this team, that is a loss.
I placed second in open, so that's a loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to say, like, there are some really amazing examples, like Alice or Jennifer. First show, overall, bam, bam, bam. But usually, it's not going to happen.
Yes.
So, just take this as your first experience. And if you want it to be positive, then it'll be positive. If you take it as like, oh my God, I screwed up, like, then it will be bad.
Yeah.
Like, it took me I did 5 shows. Only the third show I got the overall, and the fourth one. And this is to add to that stage presence. Like, you can practice many times, but it has to be in your head. Like, the coming on the stage should be like almost like a second nature.
Yep.
And then you can only get it with coming on a stage.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
you, don't give up.
And actually, if you think about it, every single person sitting at this table lost their first show and did not get the overall. Every single person sitting at this table. I got an overall. He got an overall. She got 2 overalls. She got an overall. He got like 1,000 overalls. Get him out of here. Right? Fucking sweep last year. But, guys, it's your first show.
Yeah.
Enjoy the process, Raven.
Yeah, I agree. Another great thing to do too after your show, maybe you don't have time the night of your show to do it, but I think it's important to get feedback, not just from your coach, but also from the judges. Even if you and your coach already think, okay, I need a better conditioning, I need better glutes, just showing the initiative that you care about their opinion goes a long way, and those judges will remember you, and they will remember you asking about the feedback and then seeing if you applied it. Like, at my overall, the head judge was like, I remember all your shows. I remember judging you in the past. I remember what I told you at nationals or at the clash like a year ago, and this is what I've seen improved, but this is what we can still work on. And I think it just gives really nice groundwork for you and your coach, because your coach might be great and he might have 1 or 2 things, but the judges might have a few other things for you and your coach to keep in mind that maybe your coach or yourself didn't necessarily see or notice, because at the end of the day, it's not what you or your coach thinks, it's what these judges think, and they're going to be judging you again.
Yep.
And everything changes. Every single year it changes, guys. And I'm not going to lie. There's been times when I've been really heated because the placing didn't go my way. So I don't even give a fuck what that judge said, right? I'm like, screw that judge. He screwed me, right? But again, there could be a reason why he screwed me, right? Like, maybe you went to check-ins without me knowing and you were a bitch to that judge. He knew that. And then you get up on stage and guess what? He already has that view of you, so he's not going to judge you properly. So it all goes back to from the very beginning, guys. Like, be good at check-ins. Enjoy the show. Everything should go your way as long as you're positive, right? Just be positive, enjoy the process. There is so much, we could go on pretty much forever, honestly. So let's do some closing remarks here. Raven, first time competitors, what's your number one thing you want to have them take away from this?
So, like, a huge thing, the number one thing I think that first time competitors need to consider, and we didn't actually talk about it, but I think it's my most end all be all, is make sure you have a great coach. And I'm not just talking about like a coach that's knowledgeable, but making sure you have the right coach. So when you're going into a show, you need a prep coach. Please, 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 no diss on these people. Don't go into a Crunch Fitness or an LA Fitness and pay thousands of dollars for these one-on-one sessions. They are not trained to do bodybuilding shows, and I've seen it time after time. Girls come to me and they're like, oh, I was meeting with this coach and just doing like one in-person session for the last 3 months, and then I stepped on stage and I didn't know how to pose. I didn't know anything about a diet. There was a diet. I had to do cardio. So please do your research. Don't go to a corporate gym. get a prep coach. And if you have the right coach, they should be able to do it all for you. They should be able to do your training, your nutrition, your posing. And, you know, if it's a male and you're doing bikini, they should have a posing coach lined up for you that's knowledgeable. So please just educate yourself before going into this sport and making sure you have a correct coach.
Clip it. Done.
Yeah. And I wanted to add, preferably local too.
Yeah, that's great.
Because
Local makes a big difference.
and it makes a difference between like yes, and adding it like having a team too helps so much. Like you will be prepping perhaps with someone else, and this you'll be accountable to each other. Like sometimes I want to do 25 minutes instead of 30, and Jen is, you know, sweating next to me and doing all 30, and what am I gonna stop? No. So pushing each other, like, so having a local coach who sees you every week, maybe even like the week before the show every day.
Every day.
Having the team that perhaps you'll be doing the same show with a couple other girls and you prepping with them. That is amazing to have someone who understands exactly what you're going through.
Yeah.
And you can vent about the family and how they don't understand and how kids are annoying. And it's awesome. And also, I was going to say, just do prep for the worst. It's going to be the worst 16 or whatever weeks of your life. And it's going to be, at the end, you will feel on the next level. If you can go through this, you will feel that nothing is impossible. I can do anything.
Yeah.
So, and it's really up to you. You can, we've seen so many cases when someone, again, if you have some emergency, family emergency or financial emergency or lost a job, that yes, a lot of people would just stop their prep. But I've seen some people stopping their prep for no reason, just the reason that they cannot, they think they cannot take it anymore.
Yeah.
And you will feel like a loser. Oh, I know I would. So go through it, do your best, and you will feel so much better about yourself. Like you will feel that I'm on the next level. Like I can do it. I next year nothing's gonna stop me. Like I know already. So, but
we get in that pro next
Oh,
year.
absolutely.
100%.
so it's your call, and that's why I think it helps to see others going through the same, someone doing it second time, and choose your team, choose your coach wisely. Don't just like, okay, this guy charges $150 and he'll get me there.
No, ain't gonna happen.
Do not save money on
On a coach. No, absolutely.
That's the most important right
So for me, it's really enjoy and embrace the process, because the time that you think, okay, 20 weeks, 16 weeks, it's a long time. But however, it's going to go by pretty quickly. It's going to go by quicker than you expect, right?
We're on stage.
Right? So embrace the process. Become one with the process. After you get there and you're at your competition, have fun. This is, you've done work 20, 16 weeks. I've seen people, they'll show up at the competition, they're still fucking, just bummed out and shit. No, you made it. Enjoy the process, become one with the process, and then when you get to the final culmination of that competition, have fun, enjoy it, talk to people, be lively. You made it. You made it. It might have been a struggle. Who knows? You might not have been 100%. It could have been 80, 90% or what. But whatever you have to accept the work that you put into it and then have fun during the process. Learn from it. Take whatever you did before and apply that to the next one in terms of, okay, I might have did this wrong. This is something that I cheated on. Okay, cool. Learn from that. Fail forward is what I always like to say, right? You don't want to fail and just be consistently looking back on it and, oh man, I'm a piece of shit. No. This happened, accept it, move forward, fail forward, and keep moving forward. But again, once you get to that competition, have fun, be smiley, understand that everybody is there to, encourage each other and support each other. There might be the onesie twosies that are fucking assholes on the side, in the corner, don't want to talk to nobody, cool, whatever. But, still give them the benefit of the doubt. Hey, what's going on, man? Oh, fuck off. All right, whatever. and just move on, but have fun during the process.
Yeah. And me, the biggest thing I want everyone to take from this is don't be a little bitch, okay? Don't be a little bitch. I want you guys to embrace this first fucking prep and slaughter everyone. Why do you think my athletes go out there with the mindset to fucking win? Because I demand excellence, and I think that if you get a coach, you need a coach that's going to be hard on you, not a coach that's going to fucking play patty cake.
Nope.
Like, dude, I coach these little kids, and like literally they're hitting the bat. I'm like, don't be hitting the bag. Like, what's the name? Patty cake, hit it again. Guys, these are little kids, okay? You guys are grown-ass people. If you're choosing to do this to the fullest. Make these motherfuckers pay for having to do this much goddamn cardio. Make them pay for having to eat this fucking tilapia. Like, this is not a game at the end of the day, right? Like, why do you think we're going to go out there and we're going to get her pro card next year, and we got his pro card, and we got that overall? We do this shit because no one's going to do it. And if you can do what 99% of the population cannot do, you will be victorious 100%, guys. And this was an amazing segment. Shout out to every single one of you guys for coming. The amount of feedback and amount of, camaraderie we've had about this podcast. Me and Dustin went, last weekend, it was the St. Pete show, and so many people came up to us and was like, that podcast is amazing. It got me through this prep. Like, wow, man, can I be on the podcast? So we have a whole list, guys. We're going to get to you. We will get to you. But overall, man, just enjoy the journey. Like Dustin said, enjoy the journey, enjoy the prep. And overall, guys, thank you so much for watching. Yeah. This was a great episode. Thank you, Raven. You're the best. Raven. Natalia, you're the best. Dustin.
Always a pleasure having you guys on here. You as well. And, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know when we're posting more of these amazing videos and podcasts. And we'll see you on the next one.
Episode 8. Let's go. Fuck yeah.
Nice job, team.
Good job, guys.